Wise choice to take it. Jose Antonio Reyes. Saved by Pollitt! Going full length. The journeyman goalkeeper enjoying his time in the spotlight. Roberts. Campbell at his back. Down he goes. Referee says no. It comes out to Teal. Wigan are still appealing. Almunia in the way. Jason Roberts was convinced. How is that not a penalty? Bullard. And Roberts is off. Jason Roberts for Wigan. Good save, Almunia. Clare. Bergkamp. Now Henry. One-handed stop by Mike Pollitt. He is rapidly becoming a hero. Teal. Roberts! Good chance. Henry. Reyes, that's nice, Henry! Didn't really catch it. Nonetheless, another good stop. Clare. And overlapping is the teenager Gilbert. Henry! At long last, Arsenal have levelled the tie on aggregate. And Henry, quite rightly, is saying, give the credit to the 18-year-old fullback. Kerry Gilbert's surge and cross made it easy for Henry. Teal, there's a slip there by Senderos. There's Roberts! Oh, it is agonising for Wigan. Off his long run. Robin van Persie, yes! That is a gem of a free kick. A classic set piece. And a moment of brilliance that may well carry the Gunners all the way to Cardiff. Twice a League Cup semi-final loser, Arsene Wenger. Van Persie, and here's Bergkamp. Once more, Pollitt to the rescue for Wigan. Kavanagh. Minute to play, and here's Shana. Oh, and Roberts! Wigan are going to the final!
Campos free kick, dangerous! Came off Gilbert in the end. Indecision between the goalkeeper and the young fullback. Dangerous ball to test Almunia. Javi's made a run here. He's got into the box and he cuts it back. Kleb. Now this is Reyes.
He would expect to hit the target there. He's leant back and skied it.
Oh, well played, Kerry Gilbert. Now Ljungberg, just blocked. Nakata. That's a fine pass, one of the best passes of the night. And he looks here for Bastei. Oh, just too far in front of Borghetti. Maybe caught betwixt and between. Was he going for the cross? Was he going for the shot? Arsenal have a chance to break. Reyes looks for Van Persie. Didn't come kindly to him, but he finds Ljungberg. Good effort! Fine save!
Yes, again, good play. Reyes to Van Persie. Van Persie wriggles around, reverse pass to Ljungberg. Gets a bad first touch, but what a reaction with his second touch. It's a great effort.
High towards Campbell. Not yet away, Sonderos, still not away yet. It's scrambling, it's Campbell, it's over.
I think the ball's rising as Campbell strikes it. Senderos has the first effort. It's half cleared by Benaim, and then Campbell sort of has a snapshot, and actually that comes off the top of the bar as well.
Gardner. Davis again. Only Stelios in the middle. Arsenal have plenty of bodies back in there. Gardner. Oh, Stelios! He's done it again against Arsenal! Stelios for Bolton Wanderers! Third goal in 4 home games against Arsenal.
You see Davis ever working hard down that channel. Gets the ball here, and you can see the weighted pass. He just sets it up nicely for him to walk onto. It's a great ball in. Arsenal are outnumbered at the back. Stelios with a great header, well-timed header, and a perfect timing for their first goal.
We wanted to go to the Carling Cup final, and we wanted to go through today. It was very, very close, and at the moment I feel we just need to keep the spirit we have to turn it around again. The team is on the right track, and we need to persist and show our strengths. And I feel there's a lot in the team, and then it will come back.
Is this one of your worst weeks as an Arsenal manager? Defeat against Everton in the league, and then elimination from 2 cup competitions?
Yes, you can say that.
Thierry Henry remains to be seen. The decision seems to be weighing him down somewhat. Commentary from Steve Wilson.
Campbell to Diaby. Clark just prevented the corner. Perez takes, there's Ljungberg in the middle, this might come to Henry! Thierry Henry was going to score, and he wasn't the only one. Freddie Ljungberg in the way. I don't think Shaka Hislop was going to save this, but Freddie Ljungberg did. It's a right let-off for West Ham. Perez. Good running by Van Persie. Oh, great turn too, and another. Oh, and he's unlucky. Fantastic footwork by Robin Van Persie. Once, twice beat Gabidon. Deserved a goal, this. It's great play. Well, it's been a good first 12 minutes for Arsenal, but they haven't scored. Rio Coca's burst through the middle. He's got through Sol Campbell. It's Rio Coca, and West Ham United, completely against the run of play, have taken the lead at Highbury, and it's their skipper Nigel Rio Coca with the goal. Simply burst through the challenge of Sol Campbell, and once he was through Campbell, he was in the clear, and he took it well. Well, West Ham have barely been at the races in the game, but they lead by a goal to nil. Here's Perez, nicely found by Van Persie. Ljungberg just couldn't quite take it in his stride. Konchesky. Flamini. Gilberto, Flamini. Diaby. Perez, nicely done. Philippe Sendros, decent ball too. Ferdinand got his head on it. There's appeal for handball against Paul Konchesky. The referee's not interested. I don't think so. Well, for all their troubles this season, Arsenal have only lost 1 match at Highbury. That was against Chelsea. Here's Konchesky. Zamora, it's a lovely ball, and Bobby Zamora's taking on Campbell, and he's kept his feet. Zamora, and it's 2! Bobby Zamora for West Ham United, who almost unbelievably are 2-0 up at Highbury. Great ball by Konchesky. Sol Campbell was the man with the responsibility again. Campbell was beaten again, and Zamora scores, and West Ham are 2 up. Kept his feet really well, Bobby Zamora, and how about that for a finish? Well, it's not been the kids who've been exposed today. Sol Campbell one-on-one twice, beaten twice. West Ham scored twice. Van Persie. Perez. Van Persie to Freddie Ljungberg. Flamini with the overlap. Ljungberg. Well, it's a corner. Van Persie will take this corner kick. It's only half away by Rio Coca. Sol Campbell back in. Thierry Henry, great block, and off the line superbly. It was Benayoun who cleared it. Arsenal denied right at the end of the first half. Alan Pardew does not want to see Arsenal claw themselves back now. Not with West Ham so close to a decisive half-time lead. But here's Gilberto. Diaby, Gilberto. Senderos. Flamini is in space. Still reaches Flamini despite Konchesky's touch. And here's Ljungberg. Ljungberg goes over, and the shot goes across from Van Persie, and in from Perez. And Arsenal have got themselves back in the game with only seconds to go. Robert Perez, right on the dot of 45 minutes, gives Arsenal a lifeline. Well, I wonder if Thierry Henry got a touch on this. Perez hit it. Henry has stuck out a boot and diverted it goalwards. And I think Thierry Henry might claim that. If he does, he's Arsenal's all-time top league goal scorer. 151. It's his 199th for the club. More importantly, it's 2-1. Well, Arsenal have made a substitution at half-time, and it's the Swedish youth international, 20-year-old Sebastian Larsson, who has come on in place of Sol Campbell. It's come to Van Persie, looking for Henry. Henry with Ferdinand. Free kick. All eyes on Shaka Hislop's goal. It's Van Persie for Arsenal. Oh! Great free kick. That's on target, isn't it? And it's Gabidon who's flicked it wide. Great game for the neutral. There aren't too many of them here. Here's Perez. Van Persie. Freddie Ljungberg. Thierry Henry. Clark with the clearance, back in by Gilberto. It's going to find its way to Henry. And still Henry. Thierry Henry, oh! It's an absolute whisker away from Thierry Henry's 200th Arsenal goal. A whisker away from an equaliser. Great play here by Henry. Don't get much closer than that. Senderos with a header. Hayden Mullins for West Ham. Mullins looking for Ashton. Senderos is across. And Larsson's lost out to Nigel Rio-Coker here. Harewood is in the middle. It's behind him, but it's Etherington! And it's in! And West Ham have surely won it now! It's Matthew Etherington with 10 minutes to go. Perez couldn't keep it out. And Arsenal are beaten now, and West Ham are going to record a famous victory at Highbury. That touch from Larsson, let in Rio-Coker, behind Harewood, perfect for Etherington, and nothing Perez can do. It's 3-1 to West Ham, and it's curtains now for Arsenal, barring something remarkable. Ferdinand. Gilberto forward, Henry chasing it. Gabidon is there, it's Thierry Henry. Thierry Henry, oh, it would have been absolutely fantastic. But I'm not sure that even Thierry Henry can salvage this for Arsenal. Not quite sure how that West Ham goal has stayed intact, all bar the Thierry Henry goal just before half-time, but it has. Here's Perez. Henry. Perez! Good save by Hislop. just might have saved his side. A nail-biting last 5 minutes with a fingertip save from Robert Pires. Chlamini, Pires, Thierry Henry, Pires. So many bodies in there, there's just no way through. Gilberto and Bergkamp, great save by Hislop, and Pires scores! And there are 90 seconds to play here, and Robert Pires has given Arsenal a shout. So many white shirts back in there, didn't seem to be any way through. Good save by Hislop, Pires on the rebound, and it's 3-2 to West Ham.
At the start of the game, we felt we was in real good fettle here, and they really terrorised us for the first 10 minutes, and we were just hanging on by a thread, really. We managed to get through that with our sort of character and grit, but you're right, we come against a very, very good Arsenal team tonight, really rested and ready for us, and we've won.
Sol was not well at all, that's why I decided to change him.
And at half-time we understand that having been substituted, he then left the stadium. Was there a row, or was it just his disappointment?
No, it is his mental state. He's very, very disappointed with his own performance, and that's what it was. Was no row and nothing.
So that matter is finished. There's no need to sort of go back and speak to him about whether he should stay and watch the rest of the game. Or?
Well, he knows that, but there are exceptional circumstances, and I feel tonight for him it was an exceptional circumstance.
But you never saw him leave. It was he struggled, Sol, didn't he? Really, from the outset of the game.
He's been struggling the last 4 or 5 weeks. You struggle for fitness is the biggest thing. He doesn't look fit to me. So you struggle for fitness. You play badly. You play badly. You struggle for confidence. You struggle for confidence. You make mistakes. But I said on Saturday night at Bolton, the biggest part of his game is his recovery pace defensively. Right? You lose that recovery pace, you're in big trouble before you start. And, you know, as I say, the last 4 or 5 weeks he's been making individual mistakes. This is the goal against Everton. When we pick him up here, we circle him. He should be the last defender. Now, normally, if you get a fit and playing well, Sol Campbell will be round the back of Senderos there, but he labours to get back. And then when we freeze it there, there's no way he can challenge Beattie because he's scared of bringing him down. And then it's a simple goal back of the net. We pick up Sol Campbell here against Bolton when he is fit and playing well. This is what I'm talking about. He's up against a good player in Stelios here. He comes across, great pace, great recovery tackle, lots of strength. But tonight, I mean, to be fair, anybody can make a mistake like that. It's a horror show, but anybody can make a mistake. And it's a great finish. Rio Coker goes clean through, great finish. Tremendous composure. But that leads to this, where he's picked up here, he's played it, and when it comes back to him, he's a bit hesitant, the ball's up in the air, he struggles to control it, and he gets hustled right out. And then, of course, this is the second goal. This has come such a long way. He has a look at it there, and then this is a crucial time. He gets a touch on it, but that touch is not enough. I mean, it's a terrific finish, but Sol's on the deck, and it's in the back of the net. And, you know, big problems. Unless he gets himself fit, then there's no point in playing him.
Sven was there tonight. Where does Sol currently stand in the pecking order of central defenders, of which we have many in this country?
You can't go to the World Cup playing like that. No. That's an impossibility. You just can't go. Because, as I said, 9/10 of his game is recovery pace when he's playing for Arsenal or England. If that recovery pace is gone, then there's no way he's an England centre-back.
Also, when he's playing at his best as well, he bullies players, doesn't he? And he bullies the opposition. He's strong, and you don't get anywhere near him. And he doesn't look fully fit.
I don't know what the injury is, but even against Bolton the other night, when he's jumping, the spring isn't there. He can't get off the deck to do it. I mean, the thing about that game is, like, West Ham were unbelievably good,
well,
right?
we don't want to deflect from that.
If you swap the defences there, Arsenal are winning 12-0. Arsenal at times were absolutely brilliant, but West Ham, what a story, Pardew. The West Ham manager, last year, the West Ham fans hated him, right? They say if you don't get in the playoffs, you'll get sacked. Then they get in the playoffs. They say if you don't win the playoffs, you'll get sacked. Then they start the season, they say, if you don't have a good start, you'll get sacked. No, they're saying, if you don't win the Premiership, you get sacked. It's like, you know.
I'm sure they're not saying that, but
no, they're not, of course they're not. Yeah. A great performance, and the goalkeeper was brilliant as well.
Yeah, certainly was. Now,
and you can see Sunderland, Portsmouth and Birmingham filling the bottom 3 spots, but West Brom, Middlesbrough and Newcastle in particular will still be looking over their shoulders. Up at the other end, Chelsea the 15 points clear of Manchester United. Liverpool in third, 3 points behind United, but with 2 games in hand. Spurs in the 4th Champions League spot at the moment. Arsenal in 6th place, 4 points adrift of that Champions League place. And Arsenal go to St Andrews today with more problems than relegation-threatened Birmingham. Their recent form's identical to Birmingham's, who are in the bottom 3, but the story behind the stats is very different. Birmingham are on the up, Arsenal sliding. The Gunners have lost their last 2, and in between have also gone out of both cup competitions. But the story since Wednesday night, of course, has been about one man, Sol Campbell. The headlines this week are about the uncertainty of his whereabouts. They always used to be able to rely on his dependability. Some of the glory days for Sol Campbell have been very, very many of them, haven't there? Frank McClintock, I mean, first of all, a terrible blow for Arsenal and England, wouldn't it, if Sol doesn't regain his fitness, his form, his health, whatever it is?
Well, Arsenal will be devastated, actually, because they've got so many injuries and Tourés away in the African Nations Cup. And, you know, it's just a nightmare. They're not even defending particularly well this year. And Campbell has been the one person normally who's a very consistent player. He's not a particularly great leader, Jeff. He plays his own game, but when he's in the team, people balance off him well. And in the last few weeks, as everyone has seen, that he hasn't been quite himself. Now, if it's only football matters, I don't think there's a big problem, Jeff. We've all had bad times. You know, every few weeks or something like that, you have a bad game. Well, okay then. But, you know, you come back to your form eventually, especially if everything's stable. If it's off the field, then that's totally different. I don't know how difficult it would be, and it depends what his problems are.
I mean, is it fair to say, Phil, that he's always had a reputation of having a sort of slightly fragile mentality?
I don't really know. You look at him, I'm reading more in the papers, I'm trying to look into Sol Campbell and what he's like. I met him and chatted to him, hopefully trying to get him to Liverpool. And nice guy.
Oh, you tried to sign him?
Great guy. He was free at the time.
Hey, answer the question.
And he was a fantastic guy, really good bloke, and you thought he is a leader, and he does it by his presence. Apparently he's very shy, keeps himself to himself, which is hard to understand how you can be like a captain, how you can be a leader, but he certainly did it on the pitch. If you want, Alan Hansen was quiet and everything, but by the way he performed, he made a fantastic captain, and this is what Sol has given to the club. All of a sudden, his game seems to have gone to pieces. From the great Sol Campbell like you knew, you never seen Sol Campbell coming out of position, as we've seen with Boomsong before, getting caught in wide positions. Sol, where you got the best out of him, was in the middle of the pitch, fantastic defender, and that's what he was all about.
And what a contrast it was in the game against West Ham this week. You could see that, you know, his mind wasn't on the job, was it?
It's not just been that game, Jeff. That is the thing. I think that has all come about. You look at Sol there, that is nervousness, loss of confidence and everything. And what is even better is he doesn't even really chase back as he normally would do. See, look, see his position still there? He's a broken man. And I think his confidence, Frank said it before, we've all been there.
I've never seen him get past off like that.
Sol Campbell like that. But that's happened with a lot of them. The one with James Beattie against Everton, although it's more Sendros, as Sol comes back, he's the nearest one. He doesn't get his challenge in. His physical aspect is not there. And that's happened week upon week. And sometimes you go through your career and all of a sudden, every goal that's going in is down to you, or you take that pressure on yourself. And I think Sol has just broken with that game the other night.
It just strikes me, though, Matt, that at the moment people are, you know, keen to write him off very quickly. He's only 31. Is there any reason why, you know, whatever the problem is, he shouldn't come back?
Oh, absolutely not. 31's no age. And certainly we all hope he does come back, because, you know, I think we're going to need him come the summer, without question. Whatever his problems are, we can only hope that they're solved very quickly, and then he gets back to top form for Arsenal, because I think without question the England team needs a fit and informed Sol Campbell.
I mean, you know, I think obviously the finger's been very much pointed at Sol for some of Arsenal's recent problems, Peter. But I mean, you look at that West Ham game. What on earth happened to that, you know, defensive shield that the midfield used to provide?
Well, the air has gone, hasn't they? And whatever we say, they have missed him, and they're getting on to him early. But I think this has been. He's had injury problems, so it's been happening for a long time. I remember the game against Chelsea, and I remember Joe Cole going by him twice, and I'm going, watching the game, I'm going, it's too easy that. Yeah. For someone of Sol's ability and strength. So I think his fitness levels are down. I don't know whether he looks as though he's carrying anyway, but I think it's been happening for a long time. And at the moment, I think we all know he's got problems, and different players handle it. I mean, when I went out on the park, I just concentrated on football, and it was the release. But obviously, Sol's different, and he can't do that, and it's all gone on top of him. And he needs to get his fitness back. He needs to get right mentally, because I don't think he's right mentally, and I think it shows in his play. Yeah.
And he's been playing with a lot of young kids next to him. Senderos, who's still coming. He's only 18, and then you've got Duro as well, and you've got so many players. The back four has been changed a bit. Must have been 10 times this season already, Jeff. Now that's not going to help him if he's a little bit fragile at the moment. You need a little bit of support alongside. So that doesn't help. But I tell you what, honestly, I think he's a terrific player. I hope he gets over it, Jeff, because fortunately enough for England, they've got about 4 or 5 outstanding centre-halves. That's one position that they are so strong in. But for Arsenal, that'll be devastating.
Have you ever been with a player though, or been in a dressing room where the player's not gone out?
No,
like, I've never known that before.
But you can always...
there is a problem, isn't there?
Yeah,
there is a problem, because I've never heard that, and it's not a physical one.
From our era, Peter, you would turn around and say, get on with a bloody game, you know, get out there. But it might not be like that. It might be much more serious than that. That's why you've got to be careful in how you approach this.
In football terms, you've just got to get on with it. You've got to face it and get out there.
It's easy to say that, but without knowing what the problem is,
I'm saying
very easy to condemn, isn't it?
I'm saying football terms. If it's just football, he's got to get it there, a little bit of help and everything, get out. You're going to make mistakes, but you need to get it out. It's falling off the bike, get back on it again.
He's got to get his health right and his fitness right.
I mean, what I do wonder about, Frank, is, you know, what effect all of this and what's going on at Arsenal is having on Thierry Henry, who, you know, made that public statement that he did want to stay at Arsenal if things were right and so on and so forth. There's no sign of him signing his contract. Now, I wonder if he's having second thoughts about
I wonder as well, Jeff, because a couple of weeks ago he says that he was happy to stay at Arsenal, and then Arsene Wenger came out just a few days ago and says he wants to stay, Thierry wants to stay, but he hasn't says he's going to sign on. Now, that's a smokescreen for me. You're either going to go to Barcelona or whoever's after you, Jeff, and people would turn around and say, good luck to you, because you've done fantastically well, and, you know, well done. Or else you sign for Arsenal. I don't see what the big mystery is.
Well, I tell you what, if he's got it at the end of the season, he's got 1 year left, he'll either sign a deal or he'll be on his way. Because you can't afford to let him go on a free in a year's time.
No.
There's no way that can happen.
Well, you'd rather make up his mind, or you make his mind up for him, and just say, we're going to put him in
hey, what a player, what a player.
Oh, he's magnificent.
Fantastic player.
I mean, this is just going off a tangent just for a moment, but Matt, you know, looking at Arsenal and all their problems at the moment, how can they let someone like David Bentley go to Blackburn Rovers for a song, effectively, £500,000 with a few add-ons if he plays a certain number of games? You know, is this one of Arsene Wenger's blind spots, if you like, that once again he's a young English midfield player?
Quite possibly. He does seem to not want to bring those kind of guys through and give them their chances. But you know, it's often the way you see a guy go to a new club and have a fantastic debut. The proof of the pie will be in his long-term future at Blackburn.
That was his 21st game this season for Blackburn, so, you know, but he's been doing it week in, week out.
He has, but he hasn't been scoring hat-tricks week in, week out.
No, but he hasn't been playing that far forward, in fairness to him, you know?
But he is a talented boy, and it does surprise me with the... But, I mean, the problem for Arsenal isn't in David Bentley's position, in all fairness. The problem is at the back.
Matthew Upson go as well, which I thought was a good player, Matthew Upson. They went for about under £2 million. Now, when I see some of the defenders at Arsenal, I think Matthew Upson, even though he's got faults, is much better quality than some of the guys that are left there.
Yeah, well, you might. Arsene Wenger is a fantastic manager. Yes, he gets most decisions, but like any of us, he makes mistakes.
Yes.
And he might have made a couple there. But you back his judgment long term, don't you?
Peter, you know, when the phone-ins and all that, and they're all saying, how dare you criticise Arsene Wenger? But, you know, I think Arsene Wenger's a wonderful manager, and I think his record is phenomenal, and certainly I don't want to even see him thinking about leaving the club, but nevertheless I think he has made mistakes, and I think you're allowed to point those mistakes out.
Is one of the problems at Arsenal at the moment, Phil, the fact that, you know, they've got so many kids. It's great for kids to develop in a winning team, but it's much more difficult when that team's not winning.
Well, yeah, again, we were speaking about it last night. It's hard when you've got players come in, and we were talking about Newcastle with the likes of Taylor and Ramage and everything. They're good players, but coming into the side when it's going wrong, and he's invested in a lot of young lads. And we were speaking about it the other week, and we said it's great them coming in, but in 3 years' time, Thierry Henry might have gone. They might be, you know, a mid-table team or whatever.
You've got to capitalise where
you
your good
need
players
some
are there,
strength, and I don't think he's helped Thierry Henry's mind in what he did. It's great having the young lads. I think it's fantastic. But if they were to come in at this moment in time with Arsenal being very, very dodgy back and everything, they would have massive problems. Those kids are going to find it extremely difficult, and they'll suffer because of it.
Do you remember 8 or 9 years ago? He brought a 19-year-old player from Italy called Patrick Vieira, who went in and was fantastic from day one. You know,
you've got about 7 or 8 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds in at the moment. Do you know the midfield, for instance, Peter?
No, but what you said before, Arsenal had the back four then.
Yeah, they had
that
the
was
strong
steady,
back four,
and he come in. Yeah. So it's the team ethic again. We're all talking about it as a team.
Are you concerned, Frank, that Arsenal are going to miss the boat when it comes to the Champions League? 6th at the moment, 4 points off.
Definitely. I don't think they've got a chance. The way they're playing, Jeff, I hate to say it, I don't think they've got a chance.
And if we look at the fixtures coming up, Frank, I think that'll, you know, make you even more concerned.
Well, Bolton love to play against.
Today, look at this.
See, what supporters are starting to think that Arsenal turn on great football for 20 minutes, and if they don't score during that time, they get rolled over by physical strength. And if you look at some of Arsenal's midfield, it's been Lundberg, Fabregas, Flamini and Reyes. 4 of them are about 5'8". Now, if you're defending against teams like Bolton...
There's nothing wrong with people who are 5'8", Frank. Let's get that absolutely straight.
Only one of them. It's all right having one of them, Jeff. No, don't want more than you.